But before I start this video, I have to show one of these lizard man statues in the over there, because, come on, it's the big Ixar statue. Hello, and welcome to my tour of the city of Cabilis. My name is Sen from the Project 1999 community, and this is my monk Senki. Look at that scaly guy. We're going to look through Senki's eyes as we do this tour through the city of Cabilis, which is the Ixar starting city. It's the only city that the Ixar race can safely travel through. Whenever you die, you start here in the Field of Bone, so this is the entrance most people are familiar with. So I'm going to enter through this way. The Ixar are a reptile race, and they worship the faceless god of fear called Kazakh Tule. Or if you want to sound more Canadian, you can say Kazakh Fuel. I like to make fun of that just because it's one of those things where people pronounce it. The more popular way is kind of the way everyone is kind of not the right way. Kind of like the word egoism. And everyone says egoism. So this here is the entrance from the Field of Bone side. And it's the most common entrance people use. And our first stop here on the tour is this, the Shadow Knight and Shaman Guild. What's interesting about this is that the Shadow Knights and Shaman share a building. This is the only city that does that. Most of the time, Shadow Knights share with Necromancers. So the Shamans are on the first floor, Shadow Knights on the second floor. Our next stop is a very popular stop, and it's going to be the bank. And in case you're interested, next to the bank we have the brewing barrel area. So there's brewing merchants and the bank. The block. Passing the bank, we come around the water here, and if you ever fall into the water, you can find a ladder. Whee! And you'll find these little channels everywhere. If you're a monk like Senki here, then this guild is right here, the Court of Pain, with Grand Master Glocks. He will teach you how to beat the crap out of things. Across from the Monk Guild is a pretty important merchant. So, from the entrance, which is over that way, the Field of Bone entrance, we have the bank over there, the Monk Guild there, and this is a food vendor right here. So you can grab your food, you can go bank over there, and then that's the exit. Continuing past the food vendor, and in sight of the Monk Guild entrance, you'll have the trade skill area. And here is pretty much every trade skill except for alchemy, fletching, and the brewer. You'll have there's a loom, there is your oven, your pottery. All that stuff is right here. I like to think of Cabilis as having 4 quadrants, and the first quadrant that we've just explored is basically the Field of Bone quadrant, with the Shadow Knight Shaman Guild, the Bank, the Monk Guild, and then on this side, this is the Swamp of No Hope quadrant, and that is the exit of the city to the Swamp of No Hope, which is right. So there's your Field of Bone, your food vendor was over there, your trade people here, and if you keep on moving over here, that's your Swamp of No Hope exit, which is actually my favorite newbie zone. Most people like to hunt in the Field of Bone, but I think Swamp of No Hope is a really exciting place to hunt, and it has monsters right from level 1. Now we have the little divided section. And what I'm going to start by doing, let's see if we can make this jump. Somebody gave me Spirit of Wolf. Alright. Over this way is the Warrior Guild. And another interesting thing about Cabilis is that the Warrior Guild is separate from the arena, but that's where the warriors train. And now we are pretty much done with East Cabilis. We're 2 corners down, and we're going to move over and zone into the west side. If you cross this plank when you're zoning over, you end up falling into the water, so don't do it. Just a tidbit from this city. It's a weird thing, you just like splash into the water, then you have to swim around. So the first thing that you get when you come out here is the alchemy area, and there is an alchemy merchant in that tent. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a hard left and come around here to the arena. Oh, and if you hear this rumbling in the background, there's lots of wind outside. Although I guess that could be, well, I guess that's not too annoying. This is the arena where you can fight each other in a PvP area. But also, behind the arena is our third exit of the city, right here. And this is the Lake of Ill Omen. It's kind of a newbie zone, and it kind of spans onto much later levels. Very popular area, and also, if you have a character that firepot ports, or need to meet with somebody who ports in the city that way, that's where they'll go in at. So we're going to continue on outside the arena here, back across, and instead of going back that way, which is where we just came from, we're going to continue on, and we're going to come over to the, what I consider the 4th quadrant of the city, and this is the Necromancer Guild and the Warslick's Wood. So we got our little evil guys over here, and he's got a nice little pool of stuff. And behind the Necromancer Guild, oh yeah, we have this exit of the city to Warslick's Woods, or Warslick's Wood. Alright, so we're going to make our way back to the Field of Bone just to give a reverse run through. I'm going to make this jump again. So if you have Spirit of Wolf, you can make those jumps across the water. But if you don't, you can't. Let's just jump down here. We're going to go across the plank here. And we're going to zone back to Cabilis East. And then get caught on a rock there. We're going to come around this way, circling the other side of the city, and that should bring us past the Monk Guild again. And then past the 3 houses. There's our bank. And we're going to go on this side, around here, and there's our Shadow Knight Shaman Guild. And if we come around the reverse side of the building, we should get our Field of Bone exit right here. Back out to the newbie zone. It was nice that we could have some rain on this tour. The sound of rain is kind of helpful for these videos like this. Now we're exiting our city. Someone's handing in some bone chips to the guard there. If you hand in bone chips to Trooper Mozo, you get faction and very poor experience. And then off you go to hunt if you need to. As for me, I'm going to stop this tour and I'm going to lay down here. So this is Senki from the Green server, and I hope that you can find your way around Cabilis, because if you were in Ixar, it is really the only city by default that you can go to, since Ixar are super evil and kill Dunsley in every other city. And go forth and spread the fear of Kazakh Tule. Good night.